Our legal system today has formed a precedent for cases involving the possession of street and/or performance-enhancing drugs, and thus has crafted just punishments that apply equally to all, as they should. However, the National Basketball Association and its players seem to have it all figured out, as they manage to keep their players out of jail, pay entirely for their rehabilitation, and worst of all, make it seem almost inconsequential for their young players to be caught using or in possession of illegal drugs or substances. Many fans and citizens alike have questioned these ethics over the years and believe that action should be taken to apply the penalties equally to all citizens regardless of their celebrity status. Altogether, this rant will make it clear that the NBA must make punishments more severe in order to prevent the abuse in the first place, as well as bring the players more in line with the trial of the common man. Cocaine, LSD, PCP, and codeine. All of these are non-performance enhancing drugs that both our country's legal system and the National Basketball Association do not condone. You might think that the NBA will deal with drug-abusing players in a just manner. However, if you compare the consequences for possession of these substances doled out privately by the NBA with penalties from Canada's legal system, it seems these players must have some form of immunity. Is it fair to us as citizens when a man on the streets can face up to 6 months and a $1,000 fine for possession of cocaine or marijuana, while NBA player Maurice Taylor has been caught with marijuana for the third time and faces only a 10-game suspension? On the other hand, the NBA gives opportunities for these men to better themselves, but the fact remains that they are receiving special treatment and lesser punishment, which should not be allowed in such an evolved legal system. Should we really allow the NBA to deal with these offenses, or should the players have to face a judge and accept the same consequences as any other human being? This concept stems directly from the rule of law, which clearly states that no man is above another, and therefore should be treated and punished equally. Exempt from prison for drug charges, they will also have the luxury of attending a high-class rehabilitation facility during their suspension time, fully paid for by the NBA, of course. The average salary of an NBA player is a massive $5.15 million. Is it really necessary for the association to shield their players from the hand of the law and prevent them from having to spend a single penny for their actions? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for players making money. They have incredible talent, the NBA is just providing for their employees. But in the long run, the abuse of drugs in the NBA will continue while the players face almost no consequences for their illegal actions, which is why they must find some way to discipline these players and make them pay the price for the use of illegal substances. I watch a lot of basketball, particularly the NBA. I think I speak for most young players when I say that many of the professional players acted as role models for me in my childhood and drove me to play and work harder. I'm sure this was the same for former second-round draft pick of the Boston Celtics, Len Bias. Bias was expected to be a great player in the NBA until his tragic death 2 days after being selected for the league due to a cocaine overdose. He had entered a league in which many players before his time had done drugs and either not gotten caught or were only suspended and not fined. Had he known that players in the past were expelled or given jail time for their similar actions, he would have thought twice about that night. Present the need for change among the NBA's drug and punishment policies, as they have proven to be an easy way out for athletes abusing substances that the average person would be fined or imprisoned for. All people are equal and deserve the same treatment and punishments for their actions.